reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats, and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend. These games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 236. I'm Chris and I'm joined once again by the ruler of all things pants, Mr. Leonor. Hello, Leonor.
That's kind of funny. I was going to actually say that I'm wearing Darth Maul pants today, but I'm not.
Nice. Oh, you got the classic Vader pants?
No.
Luke?
Kind of
Chewie.
Lukish.
It's Chewie.
It's Chewie.
Oh, thank you for that image.
And as you can hear, we have got Mr. at MMO Bill. Hello, Bill.
Hello, I'm all aboard the Heart of Thorns hype train. Choo-choo!
And back from a long sabbatical, but here for a good time, not a long time, Mr. Harry Hall. Hello, Harry.
Hey, I'm actually quite happy to be back again. It's feels very familiar. Lack of sleep, too much coffee, talking to you guys, getting insulted about my accent. I mean, it's like back to old times.
Yeah.
What's
All right,
a sabbatical?
What's that?
Sorry?
What's a sabbatical?
Sabbatical, it's a break.
Oh, I
It's
thought
like-
you said bathical.
No, sabbatical is like a break that university professors take.
Never
And
mind.
And a sabbatical is when you take a bath downstairs.
Or in a submarine. A bath in a submarine.
Anyway,
Woo!
Right? No?
I was thinking of Black Sabbath, but that's something else.
Hey, I just talked about war pigs with my history of rock and roll class. All right, let's get right into what we've been doing because holy crap, do we have a bleep ton of news this week. Leonor, why don't you start? What have you been playing?
I haven't been playing too many things. I just kind of like jumped into things a little bit. I jumped into the Secret World, tried to grind out some points to get some more skills. Haven't gotten any new skills in a while, but I'm still down to, I think, like 14 skills from having the complete wheel. 14 or 13, something like that. Lotro, I hopped into Lotro one night, and my kinship decided that they wanted to do a full Heligrad run.
Ooh.
And that was a lot of fun. We got all the way to the big dragon at the end and everything. It was awesome.
So, okay, explain what that run is for maybe people who don't play Lotro and why it's kind of a cool thing.
Heligrad is there are different wings that you can go into. There's a giant wing, there's a dragon wing, and there is the spider wing.
Oh,
And at
that
the end-
one!
And at the
Yeah.
end of that, there is a huge undead dragon that is part of the main story that you fight, which is a 12-man fight. And we did it as a 12-person group, but still, it's still a lot of fun. And yeah, that brought back a whole lot of memories. It's very cool. One of the coolest things is in the game, when you beat that run, only one person will get like a special item, a special story item that you can take all the way back to Rivendell. And when you go to Rivendell and give it to Elrond, you'll get this cutscene of you standing outside of the homely house with Elrond, and all the elves will start gathering up and clapping because you beat the dragon.
Aw.
Nice. But you have
Is
to
it
do
scaled? Is it scaled
okay.
up now?
It's scaled, yes.
Okay.
that. You have to do that for every member of the group.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a random drop at the end, so yeah.
And is it tradable?
No.
Ha! So you have to do it like 753.5 times until every member of your group gets it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you
I
can get
also
it
got-
twice? Is that what you're saying? You can
You
actually...
can. I've gotten it twice. Yeah.
Huh.
That sucks.
I'm
You're gonna get a little bit
about.
blasé, clapping elves again. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I did this. Bye.
Quit bothering me.
Whatever special crown or sword they give you, you throw on the ground. You know, like
Here's another one.
throw it on the pile. I'm playing Dark Souls for my channel. I'm about halfway through that. At least that's what people are telling me. I'm having a lot of fun with that game still. I am going to beat XCOM: The Bureau Declassified soon on the channel, and that game is a lot of fun. If you guys want to get like a really good AAA game that's like $3 or $5 on Steam, pick it up because that game goes on
Nice.
sale a lot, and it's very well polished, and the story is pretty cool, and it's a lot of fun. So pick that up.
Cool.
Then I logged into WildStar.
Woo! Oh, sorry.
And holy cow, it's like you log in. It's been a long time. Let's jump in and boop. Oh, pop up. Boop. Oh, pop up. Boop, 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 boop. All of these new things that they've added into the game flood your screen.
Yeah, but isn't it nice that you've got something saying, "Hey, there's this new thing"? No?
It's nice, but I don't know what any of it means.
Did you read any of it before you closed it?
I did. None of it made sense.
This is one of those teachable help desk moments. There was this pop-up with an annoying message. What did it say? I don't know. I just closed it.
Now, did you try the Zpre? Yeah.
No, I logged out.
What?
I felt like I had to go to a website and read all the stuff I just got.
Oh, the Zpre. Hoverboard racing, dude.
Oh, well, I gotta get back in there. All the pop-ups finally did stop,
Yeah.
and I got a bunch of achievements.
You do realize that the
something.
game is actually underneath the pop-ups, and that after clicking for a while, there is this whole MMO adventure experience there.
The problem is
Hey,
he's running
give me
the
credit
game.
for going to go find help.
He's running the game at 640 by 480, so the pop-ups take up the whole screen.
Are you playing on the original iPhone?
It's all in oh gosh, what's it called when it's the green grayscale, like all the different
Yeah, Hercules monitor.
graphic. Yeah, I remember that. I had one of those. Okay, I'll talk about the Zpre in my bit then, since you didn't play it.
Should guys, serious question. Should I get back into WildStar now that it's transitioned to the free-to-play model?
Well, since you asked and nobody jumped in,
I was
I've
going to,
tried.
but I waited.
No, I'm going first. I've
Okay.
tried actually 3 times since free to play came up. All 3 times my client has screwed up or failed or died
PepCap.
and made it impossible for me to log in. So, and this is kind of a theme between, well, like WildStar and I have a problem. Like we have a very problematic relationship. So I'm a little bit biased against it. So if you're going to ask me, I'm going to say go ahead and play Guild Wars 2 because you'll be happier.
Okay.
Dang.
PepCap. Anyways,
Bill, what have you
yes,
been playing?
should. Yes, you should. There's a new holiday event
Okay.
in there. There's hoverboard racing. There's good stuff. I'll talk about it in my bit.
Okay.
Assuming it doesn't delete your hard drive for you.
PepCap.
Yep. Your face is PepCap. Anyway, so I haven't actually been playing many games this week. I'll get to the obvious one here in a bit. But what I have actually been doing is watching Con Man, which is the Alan Tudyk web series that's all about the actor who played a pilot in a very short run sci-fi series that has always had a very loyal fan following, but just got canceled too early and never really got brought back. And amazingly has Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion in it. Are we picking up a theme here? And anyway, it's the theme is very
Wait a
deliberate.
minute.
It's actually
Okay.
Go ahead.
anyway. Very good. I kickstarted it, or pardon me, Indiegogo'd it when they first announced it, I think back in June or so, and it's really good. If you're looking for something to watch, they've got it up on video. It's paywalled and everything. They actually even make jokes about the video paywall in the series itself, which is kind of meta and nice. But anyway, good show, worth watching. The only game I have been playing, getting into that, is Guild Wars 2. I'm so expansion hyped right now. Everything I've been doing for the last week is logging in, creating space for my new characters, getting everyone set up, planning out which characters I'm actually going to take through the new zones and the new story and everything like that. And I'm ready to go. And we're recording on Thursday right now. It's an hour and 37 minutes until it goes live.
But who's counting?
But who's counting? It's an hour and 36 minutes now. So, but again, so really cool stuff. The one cool thing, speaking of cool, that I came across in all my Guild Wars 2 hype preparation and everything like that, it actually came up while we were recording Crowfall Reporter the other night, was a drink menu for Guild Wars 2. They've created 16 cocktails. It's just an Imager link, but it's 16 cocktails, all representative of the different classes and elite specs in Heart of Thorns. And some of them are really good. I really want to drink the Mesmer. That looks amazing. We'll have a link in the show notes, of course. Maybe our producer would be so kind as to actually throw this up on the live stream as well.
Done?
What a smart guy.
I know.
What else? So have you guys had a chance to look through this? There's an additional 8 drinks hiding at the bottom. You only see the first 8, then you have to expand down the bottom 8 as well. But what do you think, Chris? I know you had a favorite that we were talking about in pre-show yesterday. But what's your class of choice?
I'm a rum guy, and it just so happens that the warrior drink is which is my main, not for long, but it is my main. Happens to have Amaretto, 151 rum, and Dr. Pepper, which I'm a fan of all 3.
Did you notice it's Almaretto?
I did. Yeah, I know, right? I know. It's my drink. We have to. There will be copious amounts of this consumed at some point.
How about you, Leonor? What's your Guild Wars 2 drink?
I think that since I am a MMO journalist now, that I need to experience all of this content.
I don't want to say out loud that that's the wussiest answer I've ever heard, but it's kind of the wussiest answer I've ever heard. Sorry, Leonor. Good try.
Not until I drink them all.
Leonor.
Gotta catch them all.
And I can tell you from personal experience that drinking 18 cocktails does not contribute to a professional stance.
I remember that night. In fact, I believe I have video. Hold on. No. I'm drunk not.
Exactly. So
what about you, Harry? There's got to be a Harry special in here somewhere.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, the Herald looks cool. I don't know. It's kind of fruity. Vodka is always good. I think I'm going for the Herald.
The Herald, a good choice.
But the Revenant is more spectacular.
It does photograph better, because that's really what you look for in a drink, isn't it?
Well, for a cocktail, I mean, you want people to look at you and wonder what kind of magic you are wielding. And the Revenant is actually, it has special effects, which I approve of in a cocktail.
Well, there you go. I was fairly impressed with like I said, the Mesmer, but my drink of choice out of all of this is going to be my class of choice as well, is the Thief. The black iced coffee, bourbon, and maple syrup all in the same drink. That is my drink.
How can you not like that?
They made it for me. It's like they knew.
Yeah.
So anyway, so those are the Guild Wars 2 cocktails. The other thing too, just from last week's episode, we had a little chat. I have a dilemma in that I've got this burning urge inside me to start playing games on big screens. And I'm kicking around the idea of, I thought about a PlayStation 4. I was thinking really heavily about an Xbox, and I kind of put it out to the audience to convince me that an Xbox is what I needed, because I was sort of leaning it that way, but I needed to be pushed. And our listeners really came through. One listener named Shell actually suggested that I absolutely do not need an Xbox One, and that I should actually be getting an NVIDIA Shield. So I wanted to bounce that off everybody as well. What do you guys think? I'm reading about this, and it actually does pretty much everything I want. It allows me to maintain my PC snobbery, so that's good. It's less than half the price of an Xbox One, which appeals to my inherent cheapness, so that's good. I'm not seeing a downside here, really.
May I have a reasoned response to this.
Oh, is it reasoned?
Are you insane?
Oh, please continue, Harry.
Oh,
Please.
yes, but tell me why I'm insane.
No, I'm serious. You are actually considering using a streaming box to play on. I mean, there's nothing wrong with streaming boxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's first. So if you get a Shield, okay. But an Xbox One? Is that the choice? You're take a PlayStation 4. Go for the actual good console.
Well, here's the thing, though, and I mean, I may be putting this like be like one in the hand versus two in the bush kind of thing, but there's a beautiful feature that they've been talking up a little bit about the Xbox One that really appeals to me, and that's direct. Like, they already have Xbox One to Windows 10 streaming setup, but apparently they're going to be setting up. They're going to be introducing a feature to go the other way as well. Windows 10 streaming to your Xbox One, so you get the best of both worlds. You can play your PC games on the big screen. You can obviously play your Xbox games on the big screen. You get Microsoft PVR capabilities and everything like that, and you're golden. See, that's what appeals to me. You can't do that on the PlayStation 4 that I'm aware of.
No, but it's an Xbox One. I mean, that's not golden in any sort of stretch of the imagination, except for PlayStation 4 is currently the console to get.
Why?
It's the more powerful machine. The deal you get from subscribing to PlayStation Network is way better.
Yes,
and has a way better offering of quote unquote free games included in your subscription. You could actually almost say that PlayStation Network is kind of the Netflix of games. The processing power, as I said, is better, which means that you always have a slight, not a huge, but a slight advantage in the graphics department over your Xbox One counterpart. And all the functionality that's in there is also in the Xbox One, save for the DVR stuff. And the DVR stuff, do you really need that? I've hooked it up and I don't use it.
Oh, okay. No, and I Plex for DVR purposes, so that's fine. So now that's good.
Harry. Sorry, just Harry. Which one are you going to play Halo 5 on? Just wondering. Is it going to run better on the PlayStation or the Xbox?
Well, if the reason for you buying a console is a single game, and that is the game that you can only play on one console, of course, go with the games of choice to make your purchasing decision. But if you're looking at the long-term stretch, then I think one Halo, which is not made by Bungie anymore, mind you, isn't going to isn't a valid argument for one system over the other. So make a list of 5 games that are exclusive on either system. And see which. I mean, Uncharted. I could say the same thing. Can you play Uncharted 4 in the Xbox One?
I don't need to.
No, it's an amazing game. Of course, you need to.
No, because Chris has like two sets of each console stacked up in a golden pile beside his throne.
Okay,
in the MMO headquarters. So no, this is good. This is actually a really good discussion. I'm happy now that I'm more confused than I've ever been. So this is good. I'm feeling very, very fulfilled.
Lanor says PlayStation.
I have them both, by the way. I mean, it's not like I'm a PlayStation 4 fanboy. It's I have both of them hooked up. Well, I just prefer one over the other, and I'm a bit emotional, I grant you, but it's No, the thing is, the main thing that I notice, even though I think there is nothing extremely wrong with the Xbox One from a technical point of view, except that the interface is terrible, processing power is less, and it has a less interesting selection of games. Otherwise, it's a fine console. But I've not turned it on for weeks. That says something, doesn't it? I've played games, not on the Xbox.
I've been playing tons on the Xbox, way more than the PlayStation, and it's been mostly Elite and Neverwinter.
Well, sure, and I have Elite and Neverwinter on the
On
Xbox
PC.
One as well.
Yeah, you could play them on PC too, right? So they're not.
Which gets back to my whole original thing of shooting my PC games onto the big screen. So
Yeah.
I have
Anyway.
the Xbox One version of Elite Dangerous as well. But
Can't
it's
you just
not.
get the thing that's coming out soon? The
Yeah,
Steam
the
thing,
Swift?
the Steam that
Well-
just like
We'll talk
Oh.
about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We've got that in the quick mentions.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this is going to. I actually thought we would have learned from our previous shows and not take 2.5 hours over. What have you been doing in game this week? But apparently I was
Apparently
wrong.
not. Harry,
this is a special
Oh.
occasion. We don't
Sorry?
normally have a Harry Hall to bounce all our stuff off of, so that's good. Speaking
Yeah.
of, what have you been playing, Harry? I'm captivated. I can't wait to hear.
I've played a lot, obviously, in the past months, but I'm not going to bore you with an entire and comprehensive list. So I'll just stick to. I'm getting back into Guild Wars 2. For the expansion is launching today, as we are recording this on Friday morning for me, which is your Thursday evening. Anyway, so I'm actually I'm pretty stoked about playing an MMO again because I haven't done that in a long while. I've been I'm doing stand-up comedy now. I'm actually I'm playing a gig tomorrow evening in The Hague. So if you're there,
Oh, nice.
come stop by.
on my way.
Yeah, I'll hold my breath for that. So actually, I was kind of out of the gaming playing business and now into the on-stage playing business. But Guild Wars 2, I'm looking forward to getting back into that. And I logged in just to see if they reset my skills again and messed everything up, so I wouldn't have to do all the fudging with points today. Clear some banks, but it's like dusting out your old living room for the guests to come in and have a good time, and that I'm actually looking forward to that. A game I've reviewed recently and I've played quite extensively and this is my first title in the series, and that's World of Warships. And I think Bill has played World of Tanks quite a bit.
A bit. I wouldn't say quite a bit. I'm familiar with World of Tanks. I've done World of Warplanes. I haven't done World of Warships yet, though.
Okay.
I have quite a bit. It's fun.
You played World of Warships?
Mhm.
Yeah, I liked it, and despite what I didn't want to like it, actually, I really, really didn't, because there was this huge campaign from the publisher trying to get everybody to like the game, so much so that they actually took a bunch of us journalists and drove us, mind you, by bus to England to watch actual warships and make us fall in love with those hunks of steel. And I just thought, I don't want to like this game anymore. And then I started playing it, and it's actually quite fun. I really enjoy the upgrade system. It's a very friendly, free to play setup. I didn't feel the need to buy anything. And I could, and the things that you can do, for example, buy new slots for new ships, I find extremely defendable to make those there's no pay to win aspect at all, and it's just a lot of fun to have a kind of a slower type shooter. It feels more like a thinking man shooter, because every salvo you fire from your warship, obviously it's naval battles, if you didn't get that, it takes a few seconds for each salvo to get to its destination. So you are constantly thinking, aiming, positioning, and it's just fun. It's very satisfying to blast somebody out of the water. And the way they keep you in the game, I'm actually quite impressed. After your ship is sunk, you can immediately queue up with another ship of yours in another match. So there's just no downtime. I was very happy with it. I scored it an 8 out of 10 on the website that I write for, and it's I'm quite happy with that.
Very
And
cool.
unhappy actually because I like it.
You're unhappy because you like it. That's terrible. I think adding to our dictionary list of first world problems. So, no, that was one of the things that I've sort of noticed with wargaming is the games have kind of progressively become more strategic. Like World of Tanks, I was almost a first person shooter in its twitchiness. Like it wasn't very strategic you really just charged into the fray and whoever was the clickiest and best at aiming won. World of Warplanes came out and it was still fast because air combat is still fairly quick, but it's still very strategic. It's all about positioning. It's getting yourself on the other guy's six and taking him out that way. So I was kind of curious to see if World of Warships kind of took it to that next level where it was almost more like H2O chess.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but the interesting thing, what you're saying is, I had an interview with the Wargaming CEO, Victor Kisley. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. I apologize for that. But he's the big guy, the big boss of Wargaming. And I kind of pissed him off in the interview because my first question was, every game that they're bringing out has war as a theme. So I was curious what brought that about. It wasn't a loaded question. I was just wondering, are you very interested in war, and why is that? And he said, okay, chess is a war game, right? So it's not about killing, it's not about being violent, it's about becoming smarter, and strategic games make you smarter, and that's what he wants, and that's actually the vision that they're taking. And that's also one of the reasons that Wargaming.net is doing a remake of Masters of Orion, which is also something that actually I'm looking forward to much more than World of Warships. But that is their vision. They don't want it to be just mindless explosions. They want it to be about thought. And World of Warships is a very thinking. You don't have to. I mean, if you want to, you can just go full speed ahead and try to sink anything in sight.
And die. And
you will die because you need to be aware of the team and you need to be aware of your position. And pretty cool.
I think Wargaming has one of the best free-to-play models out there in that you really are just transferring money for time. It's not that it's not pay to win, because the matches are all in categories, right? You're not going to pay and then all of a sudden own in every single category. You still have to have skill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really impressed with all of their games follow that same tech tree sort of model where you can speed up your time through that tech tree by spending money. And I really liked it.
I had a very angry phone call from the Wargaming people when I did a preview about World of Warships, and I did find it to be pay to win because they gave me a premium account just to see the stuff. It was in closed beta, and I bought some of the premium ships, and I found that I was laying waste to the opponents. So I wrote about that in the preview. And turns out, actually, this was a bug that they hadn't foreseen, because the pool of players was so small in the closed beta, they couldn't match me up with somebody who was at an equal strength.
Yeah.
So the whole reason that I felt overpowered was because I was, and in the actual game, they've smoothed that out, and you are only matched with players that have an equal type of ship or experience level.
Right.
And that way
There's a little bubble around, you'll have some that are a couple of ranks higher, some that are a couple of ranks lower, and I find it works well in all their games. It's good. Their matchmaking, I find, is pretty good.
To their credit, I just want to make sure the phone call wasn't that angry, and they actually wanted to know what my experience was, so they could pass it on to the devs, because this is something, again, they don't want it to be a cash win thing.
Right.
They just want you to have fun, and that's the way they want to tie you to their system.
Yeah, I really like that game. All right, shall we move things along to
Please,
mine?
yes, yes.
We're still only at what we've done in game. I'm going to fly through here, though. I have been playing Sword Coast Legends, playing through the story, loving absolutely every second of it. A little annoyed by some, not UI, but like gameplay mechanics, not the combat, not the story, but like the way the quest log is done and stuff like that, and the way the maps are laid out, it makes it a little bit harder with the amount of quests that you have to remember where you need to go for some stuff. It doesn't always mark everything on the map, which it doesn't need to, but I just find that I'm having to search in random areas a little bit more than I'd like to. But really, really enjoying that. You should look for some content from us about that very, very soon. Hearthstone. Played that a bunch on my iPad, and really enjoying that as always. Guild Wars 2, getting ready for the expansion, yay! And the one thing that I did want to talk about with WildStar was the hoverboard racing, which we talked about before. They've got their first when the game first launched, they had 0 seasonal events, and now they've got Shades Eve, which is their Halloween thing, which I haven't played yet, so I'm not 100% sure what that's like, but the little bits that I've seen have looked fairly positive, if I can say that. But the one thing that I have played that I've enjoyed is the Z Pre-Invitational, and I'm saying Z because the way it's instead of Z, the proper way, because the way that it's done for this, it's the event. But it's basically hoverboard racing. And you go through and you race on different racetracks and have daily quests and all that sort of stuff. And I have to say, it's quite enjoyable. The racetracks are good. You get going pretty fast because each sort of checkpoint you go through, you gain some speed, lots of jumps, lots of tricks, and quite enjoyable. The rewards are fairly decent too. Good cosmetics, and I got the 1.21 zigawatts. I said zigawatts because I think it's zigawatts.
No, it's gigawatts.
No, not for. I know that Back to the Future is that, but in WildStar they changed it.
Yeah, but then they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
They did it on purpose, you moron.
They did it wrong on purpose? That seems just like a dick move.
That actually sounds like a game that crashes your PC when you try to play it.
Exactly.
I am a strong believer that problem is between the chair and the keyboard, as I have said before. Yeah, so I really,
of the developer.
It's very, very busy in WildStar, which is really, really cool to see. I've been lucky enough that the whole way through the whole experience, even into the before the mega server, I was always on a busier server, so I haven't had any sort of population drought that lots of people experienced, as the game did not quite have the success to meet the amount of servers that they had out there. So yeah, it's been very, very enjoyable and a lot of fun jumping back into WildStar. All right, on that note, we're going to talk about our patrons real quick. All 29 of my favorite people in the world. Go to patreon.com/MMO Reporter, and you will be able to support the network with any monetary amount that you would like to help us keep our doors open and the podcasts a-flowing. There's different rewards there as well for the different patron levels. So go check that out there, patreon.com/MMO Reporter. So let's move things along to the news.
Now that I've tried to talk to you and make you understand, you can't out-threat the tank and just pew-pew and think you'll last the fight and anger me.
Anger me. You know what makes me angry? Actually, I can't even go there. I was really trying to go for it. Obviously, it didn't work. So, little bit of news. I mean, there's tons of news for Guild Wars 2 here. We could make it the Guild Wars 2 special if we really wanted to, but we're not gonna. But what we are going to talk about, because I thought, oh, okay, you're right, Harry. Let's go. So at the beginning of our Guild Wars 2-a-thon here is going to be talking about the new action camera that's been introduced in the game. Now, this is actually a really cool little notion that's been plugged into Guild Wars 2. The real quick and dirty of it is that right now the Guild Wars 2 interface is a typical what is it, like third person WASD driven game. You've got your regular like right click to mouse look around, and other than that, you've got a cursor on the screen to select menu items and everything like that. That's standard. What they're adding now as an option is what they call the action camera. The action camera is actually more like it's not really an FPS. It's like a third-person shooter type camera where you've got a little reticle built into the game. It's automatically mouse look, so you've got quick movement around the screen and that kind of thing. And your abilities, instead of being tab select, they're still a little bit tab select, but you have to aim them now. And pretty much all your abilities can be aimed with that reticle built into the screen. It's a pretty radical shift in the UI, and when you consider how Guild Wars 2 is really trying to sell itself as a competitive PvP game, they're putting down huge prize money, like $400,000 for this season of structured PvP. It's a pretty significant change. So,
may I ask a question? Because
shoot.
You know what this sounds like?
Please.
A precursor to console development.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually going to go there, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I was,
oh no, that's
Thanks
fantastic.
for stealing his thunder, Harry.
I don't like thunder anyway.
It just sounds like a control scheme
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Totally.
Well, and Guild Wars 2 has always kind of lent itself to that because they've been they have a fairly small number of abilities available to them compared to a lot of MMOs out there. At any given moment, you're only looking at, what is it, like between 10 and 14 abilities at the most.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe this is consolification. But anyway, apparently the story behind it's been almost exclusively developed by one of the developers named Joel Heimlich, who apparently spent
Heimlich maneuver.
pretty much. Apparently, the Heimlich maneuver is actually staying on overtime for about a year and just plugging a feature in that he really loved. At least that's the story they told in the guild chat stream. So which we'll have a link to in the show notes. But you can see Joel talk about it. His idea is a lot better than how he presents the idea. The poor guy looked like he was just going to explode on camera the whole time. But it's a really cool idea. Did any of you guys get a chance to look at the footage of it and see how it plays?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks very interesting.
It looks smoother, doesn't it? It looks like the kind of thing that would give you a little bit of a speed edge if you're playing competitively, eh?
I don't know about that. It could, but I don't know if it would. Man, I don't know. I didn't see that. That was not my thought at all. My first thought is, wow, that would be really comfortable on a controller.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the chances are better than average that this game could wind up on at least the Xbox One, because that seems to be the platform for this kind of experiments.
Well, and there's got to be some sort of development ease that's coming from that, because you see that from complex PC games going into the Xbox One rather than PS4.
Well, yeah, I mean, a game like Elite Dangerous and Neverwinter.
Yeah.
I mean, technically they could run fine on the PlayStation 4, but somehow Microsoft has opened their system much more to this kind of server-based, even free-to-play. So actually, if Guild Wars 2 is coming to the Xbox One, I would say that would tip it over. That would make that the console of choice.
But here's
keep in mind.
Oh, go ahead.
Keep in mind too, ArenaNet, based in Washington State, Microsoft based in Washington State. I know geography shouldn't make a difference, but practically it kind of does.
That's true.
The one thing that I hope though is that what we have seen from these ports over to Xbox One is that other than ESO's character transfer, which allowed you to move a character over, the only game that I've seen where you can log on to one, that's MMO-ish at least, you can log on to one and then log on to another platform and play your same character is Final Fantasy XIV. And you can do that. I can play my character on my PC and then jump up and play it on my PS4, and it's the same character.
Yeah.
That's not the case for all the PC ones. So I hope that I don't want to start another character. I don't want to have a whole other community. I want this to be the same freaking servers. Right?
Well, yeah.
I don't want a whole new community. No, thank you. If that happens, I will probably only play it for testing purposes because I don't want to. I like the PC community. I don't want to have to join a whole other community.
Maybe they'll release it as Guild Wars 2 Tactics.
I would say developers want that too. But I think there we're entering the swamp of deals and licensing and competitive things. Like if they want to make a console MMO, for example, for Xbox One and later bring it to PlayStation 4, no freaking way that Sony and Microsoft are going to allow people from two different systems to play together in one game. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that will limit my interest in a console version if it is not the same environment as the PC.
Especially if you've invested a lot of time in it already.
Yeah.
If you would start out fresh on a game, it doesn't matter because then you'll just make friends, and it doesn't matter if you're on a console server or a PC server. It's not like there's a superior breed of people on the PC.
Well,
I hear a song
Air high five,
coming.
Bill. Air high five. Yeah.
So anyway, the one other aspect of this story that I kind of wanted to bring up that was a little bit disappointing is apparently there's actually been a community mod that was doing almost exactly the same thing in the game for nearly 3 years. Like this is a mod that called Immersive Combat Mode that was created by I don't know the name of the person who created it. I know the Reddit name is U Westland, but that's been around for a long time, and the community is really throwing a fair amount of props to this person to kind of inspire this coming into the game. And it's kind of one of those things where at the same time, it's really cool to see a game taking a good idea and pumping it into the game, but there's not really any credit given to U Westland. And I'm certain, well, I don't know, I'm theorizing that it's probably a liability thing that they don't want to have to fire thousands of dollars at him just because they used his idea. But at the same time, they used his idea, so why wouldn't he get thousands of...
No,
what do you think?
I'm sorry, Bill. I'm going to disagree completely. It's not his idea. It's an idea that I'm sure many people had. He's just the one who implemented it first as far as an overlay for that. So I don't think they need to say, hey, thanks for thinking of this, or I don't know if there needs to be any official credit from ArenaNet.
Well, even if there was implied credit to say that we've seen mods like this and we decided to incorporate it and improve it, because that's something game companies have said in the past.
Yeah.
And that at least throws a little bit of a tip of the hat to whoever implemented it first.
Yeah, WoW does it all the time, right?
That would be, well, yeah, WoW lives off of the mod community. Actually, they're pretty upfront with saying that they take a lot of their ideas straight from mods that they've liked and just absorb them and own them. So I don't know. Deep in my heart, I'm secretly hoping that they PM'd the guy and they gave him like thousands of gems and a legendary precursor or something like that, and said thanks for kicking that off for us.
You know, maybe he doesn't have to pay a sub anymore.
I bet I'd bet anything that he doesn't have to pay a sub for Guild Wars 2.
All right.
$100.
That's awesome.
I'll bet you an Xbox One he's not paying for his sub.
All right.
Oh, wait, a PlayStation 4. Oh, no, dang it.
And I've been showing the video of them demonstrating it on Guild Chat the whole time we've been talking.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So, Harry, you are up.
There are some rumblings in CCP, the creators of EVE Online. They are exploring the possibility of characters selling and buying skill points. Why is this relevant? EVE Online is a different kind of MMO from your usual WoW-like, as that you gain your skills not by gaining experience points, but by allowing your characters to train them in real time. So how does this work? You say, I want to learn how to fly ship type X, and then the then you say, I want to train that. And then a little counter goes up and it accumulates skill points in real time. So even if you log off, skill points keep accumulating until the skill is learned and you have to set new skills. That's in a nutshell the system.
Mm-hmm.
So up until now, those skill points were completely tied to your character. There's no way to you could respec in a sense that you could alter some of your stats, but the way your skill points are allocated are fixed. Now they are considering or working out a way for characters to sell their skill points, and that means, for example, I'm an older character. I have millions and millions of skill points, and I have a couple of skills that I don't ever use in my current style of play. So I'm going to sell those skill points in the open market, and another player can buy those skill points and get some of my experience transferred to their character. This could be seen equivalent to, let's say you're playing World of Warcraft, you have a level 80 character, and somebody else is a level 100 character, and he says, I don't need those 10 levels, I'll sell them. He goes down to level 90, and you go up to level 90. That's basically the system. So, yeah?
So I was going to say, this is kind of reminding me of a theme we've seen in the past. So obviously we've seen a bunch of games lately try to co-opt that whole gold selling market or third-party gold seller market by allowing either communities or the game itself to sell their own gold in game. Is this kind of doing the same thing for the people who are trying to sell leveling services maybe in MMOs?
It's
like basically trying to take that out of the sketchy third-party market?
Well, it's kind of like that, but the odd thing is there is no use for a leveling service in Evil Lion, since, as I said, for example, some of the higher level skills can take up to several months to complete. So it's not like you're going to get your character quicker, because it still takes several months for, let's say there is this Asian skill point farmer. He still has to wait a couple of months to get that skill, and so it's not like that. It's and it's also selling them in game, right? It's not you're not going to pay $10 for skill points. It's not completely true what I'm saying, because EVE Online has this possibility of buying and selling game time in the form of in-game currency, and that means and for real money. So there is this transfer, this flow of real currency and game currency going on already. But the main reason for this seems to be to give players more options in respecking. And also for characters to top up some skills quickly. If you have a lot of ISK, for example, you are a miner and you were very successful in that, and you have billions and billions of ISK, but you're actually kind of bored of that, and you don't want to wait a whole lot of time to get some skills to do some fighting. You can just pop into the market and buy those skill points and respec. And there's an example in the dev blog that, for example, if a corporation says, okay, everybody's now going to train this skill, and we want to get up and running as quickly as possible because we're fighting a war, damn it. And then you can just pop into the market and get all the characters up to snuff as quickly as possible. And there are some safeguards and checks in there. They want to use a system of diminishing returns, which means that the older your character is, the more expensive it will be to get more skill points. And they're still working out the details on that. The effect of that is, if you are a younger character with, let's say, 5 million skill points, which is the start point of your career, it is cheaper and more effective to buy a couple of 100,000 skill points than it would be if you are a 60 or 70 million skill point character.
Well, do they have something in place right now where if somebody were to make a new character and then level up a skill to level 10 and then sell those points immediately, will that still be added on to somebody who, let's say, has a skill of 90? Will it bump that up to 100?
You're asking me to do some math, and if there's one thing I can't is that. But let's say if you are selling 100,000 skill points to somebody, then the effect for a higher level character would be they would only get the advantage of, let's say, 50,000 of those 100,000 would be added to them. while they're paying for the 100,000, they would get less skill points to their pool than they would have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the younger your character is, the more efficient the transfer will be in your direction, and it's just a way of, as I said, until now there was, if you learn some skills, those skill points you can freely reallocate them, and this allows some flexibility. But they're stressing that there is no excuse for not setting your skills. Training is the best way to form your character. You just have more options. And you're probably wondering what the community has to say about this, the EVE Online community. And their response is basically, no.
So very muted and measured is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, as the EVE Online community has always been. They're rational, composed, take a little time to let it sink in before they yell, no.
Thank you very much, Harry, for increasing the amount of work I have this week. On that note, we're going to move on to our sponsors. Really quickly talk about Audible. audiblepodcast.com/MMO Reporter if you want to get yourself set up with an Audible subscription. And you can get one free audiobook per month, or one audiobook per month. Your first month is free just by going to audiblepodcast.com/MMO Reporter. I'm still working on Wheel of Time. Doghouse Systems, doghousesystems.com. Use the coupon code MMO Reporter, and you will get yourself a free 120 gig solid state drive with your purchase. Go check them out, our friends at doghousesystems.com. Steal a thread off of the tank. Overhealing, you'll get no thanks. Too much DPS without a rest. Seeing if your healer is up to the test. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways. All right, Lenore, you've got some Final Fantasy XIV news for us.
Yes, they're coming out with quite a sizable content update. It is patch 3.1. And they have a huge forum post, and I just picked a few things out of it. First of all, they're going to be adding a new chapter to their main story, and they're going to be adding 2 more dungeons into it, along with a 24-man raid. And they're going to be adding in a new weapon system, which is very close to their relic weapon system. And let's see what else. They're adding a new battle minigame to the Gold Saucer, which is called... Let me see. I kept calling this Lord of Vermilion, but it's not. It's Lord of Verminion. It's kind of weird.
And the Gold Saucer is the area for mini games in Final Fantasy XIV.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're adding in new cards that will have more NPCs and other monsters in their Triple Triad card game, which is kind of neat. But this isn't, like everything. There is a lot of stuff that is coming out that is going to be in 3.1, and I really wish the game was free to play.
I don't think it will ever be.
No, it won't.
No.
It's also one of the most profitable games that Square Enix is running currently. So there's no reason for them to change a winning system.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a bit. All right, so some cool news for all you Final Fantasy XIV fans out there. We have got some other news, not quite so happy in our quick mentions, leading off with Defiance, unfortunately, being canceled. The TV show, which was tied into the Tryon Worlds game, has run for 3 seasons and will not have a 4th. I've actually got 3 episodes waiting in this last season for me to watch, so I'm looking forward to watching those, but I have to admit the game didn't quite have the show did not quite have the same hold on me in this last season as it did the first 2. It's too bad to see it go because I did see some pretty positive stuff. We did get a comment from Scott Hartzman. I reached out to Tryon. We got the same comment they put up on their forum. Thank you very much.
Copy paste is your friend.
Yeah, pretty much. And so basically it comes down to this. There are plenty of stories that need to be told in this world, and the team is extremely excited to continue to tell them. So they've got more content coming, and it doesn't look like they're going to stop. So just because the show is no longer there doesn't mean that the game will no longer continue.
Now, who would have thought when Defiance came out? Like, I honestly would have bet that the TV series was going to last longer than the game. When you consider kind of the landscape that the game entered into, it looked pretty rocky and I'm color me just a tiny bit surprised that the game survived the TV show.
I'm not. I think the free-to-play transition was really a positive thing for it. I guess you're going all the way back to the launch of it,
right? Yes.
But ever since the free-to-play, I think it's had a real strong push, as a lot of games do when they go to free-to-play. Next story, care of massively OP Nexon has sold their
massively OP sells Nexon. What?
So. Okay, I added this. So here, let me do this because I almost understand it.
Go home, Chris. You're drunk. Okay, yeah.
So, in the past, if you're a heavy duty Guild Wars person, you probably already know this. But if you don't, in the past, Nexon bought itself into NCSoft in an attempt to try to perform a hostile takeover of it. And this was a pretty dramatic event. I think it was it was almost 3 years ago, and their purchase plan really looked like they were going to actually own NCSoft, so everything would fall under and everything NCSoft, including Carbine, including ArenaNet, and at the time City of Heroes. Would have all fallen under the Nexon umbrella. And NCSoft apparently just barely saved itself by being able to retain, they made some strategic purchases themselves and were able to retain enough of a majority, but Nexon was still a heavy-duty shareholder. And NCSoft and Nexon have been butting heads for years now. So finally, Nexon has now been convinced to leave that bad relationship. So NCSoft is now again the master of its domain. Now, when Nexon sold off, they were actually selling off it at apparently 7.4% lower than what the closing price was for NCSoft / Nexon stock at that time, or pardon me, NCSoft stock only. So that means they actually got less than what the market would have borne there. So anyway. It seems like a weird financial relationship. Hey, if you feel like diving into the numbers of that, we'll have a link to we've got a link to the Massively OP article, and which links off to a Korean Financial Times article. So anyway, but
you have a speculative question about this. I'm very curious about that question that you're not asking.
Well, the good thing is, first off, it seems like there's actually two interesting speculative parts of this. First, City of Heroes died under the Nexon / NCSoft umbrella. Is that change in ownership? Could that spark maybe a revival? Is there something that maybe Nexon was doing? Because the City of Heroes closing was very, very tight with the whole Nexon relationship with NCSoft, at least in terms of when it happened.
I have a response to that. I think the Evil Line community said it best when they said,
I'm ready.
Hell no.
Okay, you can keep that one.
We're not going to see a City of Heroes revival. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen ever.
Yeah.
Well, they could actually go and purchase City of Titans that's being worked on right now. That's crowdfunded.
Well, they could, but they won't.
But they could.
Well,
They
yeah,
could.
They could make another World of Warcraft clone. They could do that. They could even open up a chain of coffee shops in Japan and then sell fresh berry juice. But they're not going to do that.
Fresh berry juice in coffee shops. That is the kind of out of the box thinking that we need at MMO Reporter. Thank you, Harry Hall.
They could.
So now the other interesting tidbit out of this is last month, early in September, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but there was a little bit of rumors and some interesting quotes that were coming from Mike O'Brien talking about how ArenaNet might go independent. They might be leaving the NCSoft umbrella themselves. So we've got some timing issues here. We've got Nexon and NCSoft finally cleaning up their mess. We've got the big expansion for Guild Wars 2 finally coming out, which is going to be a cash boost for obviously ArenaNet, but obviously NCSoft as well. Once that maybe dies down and NCSoft has squeezed the life out of ArenaNet and Guild Wars 2, would they be willing to cut Guild Wars 2 free and let them do what they want? Maybe.
This is MMO
Reporter.
Separated.
Baseless speculation. I'm pretty sure that was just rumors.
No thoughts on that?
No.
All right. Any other thoughts?
No.
Chris really wants to talk about Neverwinter. Really?
Does he really?
I just wanted to move along.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. We are going to talk really quickly about the Neverwinter campaign for Underdark was released. We had an interview with the lead developer from Neverwinter a couple weeks ago. So you can go check out the campaign here that's been released now. And it talks, the post that this is on talks all about the new currencies that you're going to need and the times needed for each of the campaign steps in there. For those of you who don't know, you get currencies for the campaigns by doing daily and weekly quests, and then you spend that currency and real life time to complete steps in the campaign. So they are kind of time gated. In general, I'm working my way through the first one in Neverwinter on Xbox right now.
Nice.
By the way, quick question about Neverwinter.
Star Wars.
Did they actually fix the frame rate issues there now?
Yes. I don't have frame rate issues in the game when I'm in the hub cities, which I had before. I also, by the way, I need to make this clear. Thank you for bringing that up. I have had 0 frame rate issues in Elite Dangerous since it went live. Since I've been playing it tons, I've been in systems with fights, systems with tons of ships, with suns, with everything. Not a problem. Not even a little bit of a frame rate flicker. So very impressed with that. Now can we talk Star Wars, darn it.
If we're going to talk about the trailer, sure.
Yeah, I really want to show the trailer, but I know if I show a millisecond of the trailer, this episode will be pulled from YouTube. So instead, we will look at the green screen of the start of the trailer, and hopefully they don't pull us down for that.
Can we do a dramatic reenactment of the trailer?
You know what? Tonight,
let's turn on our webcams and.
Okay, this is gonna absolutely knock your socks off. You're gonna be so proud of this. My son comes up today after we watched the trailer. He's like, "Dad." I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Pick your weapon," and he holds out 2 toy lightsabers. I'm like, "Yes!" So I pull up Duel of Fates on my phone, put it on. Dun dun, dun dun, and then I make the vroom, vroom, and we have a lightsaber battle in our living room.
Did you?
It was my best moment as a father, really.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm envious.
It makes you want to have kids, doesn't it, Harry?
Yes.
Yeah, just for that.
Just only that. Yeah.
So we have actually bought our tickets already. We are going on Christmas Eve, and we're gonna go see it.
Are you going to the marathon? Are you going to the marathon down in Vancouver?
No. But
can you imagine having to sit through first the bad trilogy before you can get to the original trilogy, and only then are you allowed to see the actual
Christmas
new
special.
film? Yeah.
You know what? They did that with the. They did that with the Marvel movies, and some guy from, I think it was from The Verge, went to that marathon. Or a guy or woman, I don't remember, but it was a painful experience. They were saying it was like 28 hours total of Marvel movies.
A Clockwork Orange comes to mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like the whole marathon concept has faded, and maybe this is me getting old because, oh no, it couldn't be that. Got to be something else. But anyway, I can't think of an appealing marathon anymore. Like we used to do the Lord of the Rings movies as a marathon, and that's a marathon. I don't think I could do that anymore. Especially like they just had the Hobbit extended edition come out. It doesn't count as a marathon when you do it over 2 weeks, Chris.
I can tell you this. You're saying about talking about getting old. I remember going to an actual Star Wars marathon that showed all 2 movies. Because Return of the Jedi wasn't out yet.
You're old.
Holy Christ.
All
beautiful.
2 Star Wars movies.
You're old, Harry. Holy cow.
Yes, I know.
Wow.
That's an endear memory of actually seeing A New Hope for the first time on a big screen, because before that I only saw a pirated VHS copy of it. I didn't know the movie was in color.
Are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't reel to reel? All right, we got to move along though. Star Wars trailer. Go watch it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just go watch it. I mean, really, is there anything else that we need to say? But go watch it.
Why didn't we talk more about stuff? Why do you put the most important thing ever at the back end of the show at a time that you're just going like, move along?
Bill,
this is Star Wars, damn it.
Take the last story.
Last story, just to kind of cap off the conversation we were having at the start of the show. Steam Link put out a new preview video and announced availability for the Steam Link game streamer being available in November. It's going to be $49.99 US. It's a fun little trailer, and it's a cheap way to get your Steam games on your TV.
Mm-hmm.
So,
does it stream your non-Steam games?
I don't know. I'd be really curious to see if it could do that, and I'd also be curious to see if it does. If you can try your little Notepad.exe trick to stream it stream non-Steam games.
Still not working well.
Does this work? Does this work with Windows 7, or do you have to have Windows 10 for this?
I
also don't know.
Because this is one of those things. If a Steam streamer streams games, this is like a tongue twister. If a Steam streamer streams games to my TV from
how many games would a Steam streamer stream if a Steam streamer could stream it?
Yeah, exactly. No, but this is something again would make me want to turn on my Xbox One, actually. And damn you, Bill.
Sorry. Didn't mean to do that to you.
I have to
I don't see the system requirements right off the top of my head. I see the hardware specs, but...
well, if my PC can play the games...
Here we go. A host computer running Steam OS or a big picture mode on Windows Vista or newer. So there you go.
Holy shit!
Or
damn it!
OS.
Sorry.
Or OS 10 Yosemite or newer, or Ubuntu 12.04 or newer. So they've got it pretty broadly covered.
That's so. Who needs Windows 10 at least for that?
This
exactly.
I looked it up real quick, and it says, on this forum post, a lot of these people are saying that yes, it will stream non-Steam games as long as you have it linked through Steam.
Well, that's already true. If you're I have some games that I didn't purchase through Steam on my PC, and using Steam streaming, I can stream those non-Steam games from the PC to my Mac. So I already know that. For example, World of Warcraft, I was playing it on my Mac by streaming it from the PC to my Mac via Steam Stream.
Interesting.
The problem is with games with launchers.
That's not true. Guild Wars 2 also works. Guild Wars 2 also works, and Elite Dangerous worked like that. So all those games work fine.
I can't get Steam games to go from my PC, non-Steam games to go from my PC to my Mac that have a launcher.
Well, then you're probably not doing it right.
Because have launchers.
Well, you just have to select the actual launcher as the game that you add to your. You have to add the launcher to your Steam list, and then it works fine. I've played, as I said, Guild Wars 2 and Elite Dangerous that way.
All right, we'll keep trying.
Even Kerbal Space Program with that's a Steam.
All right. Bill, if people want to,
have you fired your guns in Elite Dangerous by now?
Yes, I have. Now, we'll come up with some sort of prize of some sort. I want to hear the best Steam streaming system tongue twister. Send them in audio files.
A Steam Stream meme.
Files. We'll play them.
The Steam Stream meme. That needs
Yes.
a jingle.
Yes. So send us in, and I'll find some sort of prize somewhere for someone. But send it in.
That's selling it, Chris. You're a born salesman.
I bought a magazine at the store.
got a packet of gums. It's half empty, but it's still a prize.
Harry will send the winner a prize. Bill, if you want to contact us, how do they do so?
Head over to MMOreporter.com for the central hub of all MMO Reporter activity, including links to all of our brothers and sisters shows like Guild Wars Reporter, Crowfall Reporter, Lotra Reporter, and a million other, well, maybe not a million, several other excellent podcasts, and at least one or two that are just okay. Send us an email to mmo.reporter@gmail.com. Head over to Facebook, facebook.com/MMO Reporter. You can tweet at any of the MMO reporters, either at MMO_reporter for Chris, at Harry Hall for Harry Hall, at Leonor for Leonor, and at MMO Bill for yours truly. Give us a call at 616-666-6778. Leave us a voice message. We would love to hear which of the MMO Reporter episodes you consider to be great and which one is just okay. youtube.com/MMO Reporter Network for all kinds of excellent game coverage, streams, packs, videos. The video of me turning 13, which was apparently just 2 seconds ago. patreon.com/MMO Reporter. If you're feeling like helping us keep the lights going, we love our patrons. Thank everybody so much for considering us for your benefactitude. That's a word. Honest. And finally, if you're not into the Patreon model, head over to mmoreport.com/support, and we have a few other ways for you to help us out there.
Bam.
Thank you very much, Bill. And of course, thank you, Leonor, for recording with us this fine late night.
I want to quickly announce that the last time when I played Hello Kitty online and live streamed it, I had to sign up on the game to play it. I figured out how to officially get into my email account. So now I have a working Leonor@hellokitty.com email.
You do not.
Yes. Send me
That's
emails,
glorious.
Everybody.
Damn, I want that too. I also want Leonor@hellokitty.com.
You just
That
want
doesn't
Leonor.
Bounchka. Moving on. Thank you, Harry. As always, a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, it was good to be back.
We're here for a good time, not a long time. You don't know that song. Bill knows it.
No,
I almost choked on my soda.
Bill,
probably Canadian.
thanks
Yes.
as always for coming on the show.
You are absolutely welcome.
And thanks to everyone in the chat room. Quiet chat room tonight, but I did see a few bodies in there. So thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us as we record. And of course, thanks to everyone who downloads or watches the podcast week after week. We really appreciate it. We hope that you watch the show next week. But of course, most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
We need to bury the bodies.
In
Don't
game.
forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOreporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOreporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.